It's hard. I I have to go up there to the coffee shop every morning and get my coffee, and I have to go past that crosswalk. And for a while there, before they finally got the lights put in, there was flowers. My neighbors had put flowers all out for her and stuff, and I'd see that and it made me sad. I'm Wayne Stewart, but everybody calls me Jay. I've lived in Ojai for the last 20 years.
My mom has been my closest confidant, my best friend, and the one person I could talk to about anything in my life that I've had ever since I can remember.
Edith and I were married for 38 years, and it was the fourth marriage for both of us, and we always said that the fourth marriage was a charm. He was an aerobics instructor at the gym that I worked out at. And I think I was taken with her when I first met her.
Part of the reason I loved coming up here was just seeing how much Jay adored my mom and how much my mom adored Jay.
Edith and Jay were devoted to each other, and I am so jealous of them because here's this older couple that are not ashamed to show their love for each other and being kind and generous with each other. He made her dinners. He went shopping for the food she liked. They just were just in love.
Oh, the duck pond. She took it upon herself to adopt the ducks at the duck pond over there, and she'd make sure that I filled up a bag of seeds and bread and stuff for the animals over there. She thought she was St. Francis of Ojai. And she'd walk over there every day, a little over 2 miles, and back just to feed the little baby ducks and squirrels and stuff. I liked the exercise too, and it's a nice walk over there and nice and relaxing sitting there on the bench underneath the tree and read the paper.
And I would walk my mom to the park where she liked to walk because I didn't trust the street that she crossed.
I was always worried about her crossing because of the 4 crosswalks. None of them seemed to be very safe. And they'd always had been talking for years about putting some sort of safety lights or something up there so that it would make it safer for the pedestrian crossing. There isn't any signals. People thought that was the freeway over there or something. It was unreal. Just because it was 4 lanes, I don't know, they had it confused with the freeway, I always said.
There were no controlled crosswalks.
Because there was no posted speed limit from Highway 150 to El Rubaloff Avenue. I was worried about me crossing too. I was worried about anybody crossing. I've had so many neighbors around here that have almost gotten hit going across the street just to the market. I know a few people that are involved in the street part of the city stuff, and that seemed to be a topic that they've been bringing up periodically about the safety of 33.
And I've been a little shocked at how scary it was, especially one day trying to get across the street in front of Nordhoff, and the width of the lanes was really scary, and people were not stopping or even observing that I was a pedestrian.
As a parent out there for the last 2 years, it really is a very, very dangerous environment. It's particularly dangerous, I think, for pedestrians. I had a situation where a car probably went by at 60 miles per hour as my son stepped off the curb, waving to me, about to pick him up. It's just crazy out there.
I personally have experienced a number of close calls as I cross Maricopa Highway near the high school. I was a bit discouraged when I came to Ojai Unified to see just how few of our students travel to school via biking or walking. I'm certain that that's a direct relationship or cause of the unsafe paths that students have to travel to school.
Well, I mean, this is not something that's brand new. I mean, people have been killed on that highway before.
That stretch of road, Dr. Fred Favre's son was killed there many years ago, coming from a swim lesson. So it is important.
Because I go back and forth on that highway every day walking with the Hyatt Nordhoff kids, with dogs, with, you know, I have to get out there and really tell cars to stop because people don't see you. So it is really a problem.
You know, you got 4 lanes and you got a couple faded crosswalks. Like it's a train wreck there. The whole thing is a train wreck. Classic the other day when I went to push my bike on a crosswalk, one car stopped and the next one didn't. The safety features for pedestrians and bikes along that whole way are virtually non-existent.
There is no way to safely cross that street at that intersection. It is not safe to cross that street. It is very scary. I have to say, I almost hit one of my neighbors as I was driving toward Miners Oaks, who was crossing the street. And the sun was in my eyes. You know when the sun is coming through in that area of the highway? It was blinding. I couldn't see him. I see this man stopping in the street, like, what's going on? And it's my neighbor.
The inherent danger is with that rise and the evening sun, the 2 lanes going each way. That is the inherent danger.
Not only is it near a school, it's actually 5 lanes wide, kind of, because there's a center lane. And I can tell you that I've driven in pure daylight and almost hit people on that road because they tend to blend in. And on that road, I almost got killed so many times.
You have kids going across the street from one side to the other. The mothers will pull up in the car and slow down, and they'll go from one side of the street to the other. And I really don't think that people pay any attention to those crosswalks.
Nordhoff High School, there's been some concern about safety over there for crossings, and we secured a grant last year to putting flashing beacons, and that as well as complete all that design. So it's on the agenda for the December 13th agenda. You'll see.
All I'm saying is I know you like to bid everything at the same time. There's economies of scale to doing that. But if we're looking at a significant extension of time to do that, maybe we want to break things apart a little bit. Just a food for thought.
And just to make sure I've got that, it's Whispering Oaks and the 4 crossings out by the high school. That's
I'm
what's
just
going
saying,
December 13th.
You made a comment about you like to bid everything at once.
Yeah.
But if that means another year, maybe we want to break it up a little bit and get something going faster. Mr. Graham, I'm a little frustrated that your projected construction is 2019 to 2020 for this. But is it possible to piecemeal this a little bit and break it up to get some of these really critical safety issues addressed quicker, rather than just waiting for the whole thing to be approved by Caltrans?
And I think the good news is we are doing it incrementally. I mean, the first recommendation is the Whispering Oaks crosswalk, as well as the 4 crossings adjacent to Nordhoff High School will all be done as soon as possible. We have those underway right now.
So possibly before 2019.
Yeah. And so I think those, I did promise you, I think the last meeting, 6 months.
I am concerned about a delay in getting going on these flashing beacons because it is a recognized public safety danger.
They never got around to putting those lights in. They did now. It was Easter Sunday, and we had an Easter breakfast together,
and we all ate together. And then my mom said she felt a little tired, so she was going to lay down. And since I had to work Monday, I told her, I said, "Okay, Mom, love you," kissed her on the cheek, and said, "I'll see you next week."
And I packed up all of her stuff to go for a walk, but I just couldn't make it. I was having too many respiratory problems, and so I held back, and she went by herself. I called her cell phone, and the paramedic answered it. The second time I called once, and then I called back again, and some guy answered the phone, and I said, "Who's this?" And he said, "Well, I'm a paramedic," and he says, "Your wife just got hit by a car over here." I knew right then that it was over there. And he said to go to the hospital down in Ventura, so I knew it was serious because it was right in front of a hospital. And then I was thinking what the terror must have been like just before she got hit by a car, knowing it wasn't going to stop. He said that they were able to revive her and get a pulse. Then a doctor came in and said, I hate to tell you this, but your wife's passed away from the accident.
And then the nurse came in and the ER doctor and said she was gone. And that was it. I never got a chance to say goodbye. I never got a chance. I saw her that morning and then she was gone. And it just, my greatest fear of that stupid highway came true.
My friend and neighbor, Edith Rubaloff, was killed while crossing the street at Maricopa Highway in a crosswalk. She had been visiting the Ojai Meadow Preserve and was crossing Maricopa Highway directly in front of the Ojai Hospital. For years, my friend Edith walked from her home in the Creekside Complex to the Ojai Meadow Preserve in order to enjoy the beauty of nature and to feed the birds. But on Easter Sunday, after the joy of the preserve, Edith was killed on Maricopa Highway. While Edith's death was a shock, it was not really a surprise. There is no safe way for a person to cross 4 lanes of a busy highway. I've spoken about the unsafe conditions on Highway 33 at a recent City Council meeting, and have expressed concern at meetings of the Complete Streets Committee about setting slower speed limits and addressing unsafe crossing conditions at Maricopa Highway at this same crosswalk and others in our downtown area.
I am concerned that city staff isn't clearly communicating to Caltrans that this council has deliberated multiple times and determined a priority to address the pedestrian safety issue along Ojai Avenue and the 33. I would certainly like an update on the beacon, the flashing beacon installations. I'm getting, we've already had another pedestrian fatality. We've got a dangerous situation. We have had fatalities. Are we doing everything we can as a city to clearly communicate this official position that's been decided by this council and move along in terms of pedestrian safety improvements on the 33 and Ojai Avenue? And I'm not convinced that our staff is doing that.
Well, I just want to say, I consider the health and safety of the community is our first responsibility. We were warned months ago, we've been warned that somebody was going to get killed there. I feel that we failed by not acting because we knew that this could happen.
From what I understand, this didn't have to happen, that there was funding and that for the lights that needed to be put up, but they had ignored it.
To me, it's baffling. To me, it's baffling in the sense that they did not prioritize public safety because they wanted to prioritize what bike lane they wanted to put in or this other thing, and especially because there was precedent. They knew there was a danger there.
If they would have continued with it the way they were going, then just gone through and put the lights up and put the buttons on either side of the road, I'd have a wife right now.
My parents' ultimate goal here was to go to a smaller place where they could afford to buy their own home.
We had some plans for the future. We had planned on maybe getting a small house that we could move into, call our own. And she liked flowers. She liked to be out in the yard, and she'd want to be where she could plant some flowers. We'd packed up all of our stuff that was packable other than the furniture because we were going to move from here to start a new life somewhere else together.
His beacon of hope, his life, his his reason for being is gone, taken from him. And he just absolutely, I've never seen him so adrift in his life. He's a ship without a rudder.
Now I'm kind of up in the air because I don't know what to do. We're just, everything's packed up, packed away, and not sure where I'm gonna go. I don't like being in the house. I don't like being outside. Everything reminds me of her. I wake up in the middle of the night and the bed's empty next to me, and I think, oh, she's just gone to the bathroom. I'm not sure how many more years I've got left, but I was looking forward to spending them with her.